All right, so incidentally, we told you earlier at the top of the show this morning of how that there's some heartwarming news coming out of this insecurity challenge we're dealing with as a country with the release of quite a number of these girls who had been kidnapped in their schools, especially the story coming out from KB State, where we now understand that all of the girls, 24 of them, have regained their freedom, while quite a number of them, almost 60 in Niger State, have also now been freed. So we understand the government and, of course, security agencies are working around the clock to ensure that we bring closure to these as quickly as possible. But this morning, we also need to look at the political variables that are driving insecurity in our dear nation. And to help us understand this, I'm joined by Professor Bubakar Umar Kari, Professor of Political Sociology here at the University of Abuja. Prof, a very good morning to you. Prof, hopefully you can hear me. All right, it will appear we're still having a bit of an audio issue with our guest, but Professor Carey will be helping us understand the political factors behind the escalation that we're seeing in insecurity across our country, the last few years in particular, especially these sort of back-to-back abductions with regards to schools, even though we also now understand that governments across both federal and subnational are working to ensure that measures are put in place to check this monster, as I'd like to call it. Hopefully, Prof has joined us now. Good morning to you, Prof. Prof, are you there? All right, we're taking a break, everyone. The rest of the show returns shortly. A very good morning to you, Professor Carey. All right, thank you. So let's.
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, I'd like us to first of all appreciate the fact that we are seeing some positive news coming out of this security challenge you're dealing with. I mean, you have also followed these developments for a long time. Help our viewers understand how this process has been politicized to a very large extent and what those
good morning and
factors
thank you
are
for
that
having
are
me.
politically driving this issue.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me very clearly.
Yes, very well, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Prof, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you all right.
I can hear you very clearly. Can you?
Yes, Prof, just
Okay, I
go on.
should
I
go
can
ahead.
hear you very well.
Okay. Once again, thank you for having me. The Okay.
You're most welcome. Go on.
The question that you ask is a very loaded one. Uh, Trying to establish a nexus between insecurity and politics. In Nigeria, the two are quite intertwined. As a matter of fact, they are inseparable. Insecurity and politics are inseparable.
We're having some glitch with the audio from Professor Carey's end. Let's quickly fix that glitch. The rest of the show returns shortly. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
As always, it's a pleasure to have you join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Social Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss, and of course,
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
A joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Women can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as
numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Face to Face is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to
World leaders in United
Welcome
Nigeria.
to Entertainment Circle And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
Talk Zone is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV Channel 365, on Star Times Channel 276.
And Professor Kari has rejoined us. Prof, we apologize for all the trouble and appreciate your patience.
No problem.
So you were going to react to my question about the political factors driving insecurity in Nigeria a while ago.
Yes, as I was saying before, that there is a very strong nexus. There's a very strong relationship between insecurity and politics in Nigeria. And this begins from the very understanding of what happens or what is happening. The average Nigerian is very skeptical, is given to theorizing, is given to giving their own interpretation of what is happening. And their interpretation is often that the whole thing is politics. The activities of the insurgents, the activities of the kidnappers and bandits, and the other purveyors and agents of insecurity. It is believed, rightly or wrongly, by many, if not most Nigerians, that in the first place, or first and foremost, the whole thing is politics and nothing but politics. It is also political in the sense that even if very handling by the authorities, by government, lends credit to this suspicion or belief that what is happening is political. And again, some of the agents and purveyors of the insecurity itself, from their pronouncements, from their modus operandi, from their objectives, assumed or concrete, you can one can easily read politics in it. If we are very, very specific, for instance, if you take the Boko Haram insurgents, and here we can also involve the so-called Ansar Islam and ISWAP. What they want to do in the first place is political, because they want to extirpate the Nigerian state and transplant an Islamic caliphate in its place. And so they subscribe to an ideology of an Islamic state, and that is a politics in nature. Again, many of the reasons advanced by the so-called bandits or kidnappers is political. They have been complaining that they have been oppressed, that they are only responding to oppression, exploitation, and neglect by the Nigerian state. The Nigerian state has failed woefully to cater for them. The Nigerian state has not been giving them education, has not been catering for their health needs, their social needs, and so on and so forth. And they are also complaining of oppression from security agents, from local leaders, from traditional leaders, from the vigilante, and so on. So a great deal of their grievance is political. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it is extremely difficult to divorce politics from the aspect of insecurity ravaging the country. That is the reality.
That reality is very disturbing, just the same way it is very grim. But let's talk about this finger pointing we're now seeing amongst the political class itself. Talk to our viewers about how this further complicates a very bad situation.
Yeah, again, in addition, there's a lot of ignorance, a lot of unfounded accusations and beliefs among Nigerians. It is very easy for some people to say that the so-called bandits or herdsmen are land grabbers, or the jihadists. Anytime I read or hear about that, I just laugh, because it is a complete lack of clear understanding of what is happening. In the first place, most of these so-called bandits, they are people who do not stay in one place. They are transhumans. They are people who move from one area to the other. And they do not even have a leadership. They do not have any coherent reason for grabbing land. So they are not land grabbers in the first place. And they are not jihadists, because most of them, in the real sense of the word, are not even Muslims. They don't know the first thing about Islam. And what they are doing is not Islamic. They are not acting or reacting in the name of religion. They are not preachers. They are not out to propagate Islam. We cannot see them preaching. As a matter of fact, if you are a Muslim, the general belief is that most, if not all of them, cannot even recite Surah Fatiha, which is the simplest verse in the Quran, and they don't pray. These are people who act under the influence of drugs, intoxicants, and so on, and their mindless killing is completely un-Islamic. So they are not jihadists. These are people who have various reasons for what they are doing. And I think it is this kind of ignorance that is fueling the whole thing. Because if you do not properly diagnose a problem, you cannot correctly prescribe its own medicine. You cannot solve it. So first and foremost, we have to understand these people. Who are they? And what are they? What do they stand for? What do they want to achieve? It is only when we have a proper understanding of their mission, of their modus operandi, of their objectives, where they are going, and so on, that the problem can be resolved. And we are all guilty of lack of proper comprehension and diagnosis of the problem. If I say we, I'm talking of the government, the states, or those who run the states, and even the people. So if you look at it, specific problems exist or arise out of specific situations. For instance, the Boko Haram problem is completely different in terms of mission, in terms of objectives, in terms of focus from the so-called banditry. And even among the bandits, they have so many reasons. The banditry in Katsina State, for instance, to an extent, the reasons or the modus operandi and the motives are substantially different from the ones in Niger State or the one in Kebbi State. The local dynamics differ. So if we want to understand this problem with a view to addressing it, we have to look at the problems from specific domains. What have brought out the problem in Katsina, for instance? We have to understand them very well. And how are they different from the problem in Kaduna or Kebbi or Niger and so on and so forth? And certainly, the same problems completely differ from the ones in Benue, in Taraba, in Plateau, and so on and so forth. But the tendency or the temptation is for us to use one yardstick, to use one almighty formula to simply
Hopefully, we're not
say
losing
this
stream
is
with
it.
Professor Abubakar right there.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, Prof, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there. I can hear you very well. I don't
Please
know
go
whether you
ahead.
can hear me.
Just go ahead. Go ahead with your point.
Okay, sorry. So, what I'm trying to say is that we lack a proper, coherent understanding of exactly what is going on. And that's why we are not making progress. The problems of the insecurity, the nature of the insecurity in the central region of Nigeria, in the so-called Middle Belt states of Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, and so on, the factors are substantially different from what obtains in the Northwest. They are not the same. So if we really need to solve them, we have to first and foremost understand the problem and admit that they are not the same. Most of the problems in central Nigeria, whether we like it or not, is political economy. It is more of economic in nature than political or religious. And these things, works have been done in the past 30, 40, even 50 years by scholars, by security agencies, even by foreign bodies, and so on. The entire problems have been interrogated and dissected and understood and solution given. And then also, we also have to understand that one of the major causes of this spate of endless insecurity is also the activities of mining activities. So it is also business and economy. If you look at the major regions or the major areas, the major communities that are being ravaged by these problems, particularly in recent times, there are areas where one precious metal or the other has been discovered. That is the problem in Kwara. It's the same problem in Niger. It's the same problem in part of Zamfara. It's the same problem in the southwest to an extent, particularly the discovery of precious metals like lithium, gold, silver, and so on and so forth. And that is where the problem has an international dimension and local collaboration. From as far as Asia, from as far as China, people have been coming to both legally and illegally mine these minerals. And what they first do, allegedly, and it is quite obvious, is to sponsor armed gangs to chase away citizens from around those areas so that they could mine this thing successfully. And the mining has been going on, and so many highly placed Nigerians are involved in it, whether it's in Zamfara or Niger or Kwara, and so on and so forth. So the major factor, the major driving force for insecurity there is simply mining activities, and hundreds of millions of naira are being made every day. Recently, a particular bandit leader granted a press interview and said every week his own group have been making at least 200 million worth of precious metals from Niger, Kebbi, and Zamfara states, where he controls activities there. And even government knows, even foreign government knows that the drivers of insecurity around that area is illegal mining. In the beginning, the problem, as correctly diagnosed, it will interest you to know, sir, that a particular group of intellectuals called the Center for Democracy Research and Training, said that in Zaria, were commissioned to carry out a study in the late 1990s. And they ominously predicted virtually everything that is happening now, particularly around the Northwest. They warned the government about the disappearing agricultural land and the fact that cattle rustling was in the increase. And they warned that if these herdsmen finally lost all their cattle, with their knowledge of the forests and the jungles and so on, and the fact that they have not been educated, they have not been enjoying social services, then they will become a menace to society. And that's exactly what happened. And they recommended measures to be taken. And they warned the governments of Zamfara, Kebbi, Sokoto, and so on and so forth that you people have been taking over hundreds of hectares of land purportedly for agriculture, denying farmers, denying herders, and so on and so forth, that it will become a problem. That is exactly what happened. So when the land disappeared, the farmers want land, the herders want pasture, and both of them do not have. Then problem started. So, and when the problem started, in the beginning, it was a problem between farmers and herders. And then it now became more or less ethnic, because it happens that most of the farmers are of Hausa extraction, and virtually all the herders are of Fulani extraction. And so now, fight now broke and naturally assume an ethnic coloration. And then the Hausa farmers who are sedentary, who stay in villages and towns and so on, form vigilante groups. So these vigilante groups started to attack the Fulani herders, who appeared to be destroying the crops of the farmers. That was the beginning of the problem between the vigilante and the herders. And then the herders now went and acquired weapons just to fight the vigilante. But along the line, they now discovered that they could use these weapons for other things. And so they now started to use these weapons for robbery. From robbery, it graduated to kidnapping for ransom and so on and so forth. And that's where we were. So the entire thing had been predicted 10-15 years before it started. And it got complicated because the same herders now started to remember that all these years they have been oppressed by the security agencies, a police who arrests a Fulani herder because his cattle had strayed into a farm. They will exploit them, compel them to sell their cows, and bail themselves out. Traditional rulers and the local alcalis.
Right.
So the problem now became complicated. And that's exactly where we are now. And it got muddled up with the discovery of minerals around these areas. Because these guys were already armed. So they are being used by the elites who want to mine those minerals. They are now using them to protect the mining environment and to escort the already mining minerals.
Right.
So
it's quite a complex development, Prof.
It is.
No doubt about that. I'm afraid time will not allow us to push it any further than this. We'd like to say a big thank you to you for taking our time to share these valuable thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, you have a great